Welcome to a SIM code. Cisco Certified CyberOps Associate 200 to 201 questions. A comprehensive guide to Cisco Certified CyberOps Associate 200 to 201. What is a firewall? A firewall is a network security system designed to monitor and control incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. What is an intrusion detection system, IDS? An IDS monitors network or system activities for malicious activity or policy violations and can send alerts when suspicious activity is detected. What is a denial of service, DOS attack? A DOS attack is an attempt to make a system or network resource unavailable to its intended users by overwhelming it with a flood of traffic. What is a distributed denial of service, DDoS attack? A DDoS attack involves multiple systems used to flood a target network or system with traffic, often making it unavailable to legitimate users. What is a botnet? A botnet is a collection of compromised systems that are controlled remotely by an attacker to perform tasks like sending spam emails or launching DDoS attacks. What is phishing? Phishing is a social engineering attack where attackers impersonate a legitimate entity in emails or messages to trick users into revealing sensitive information. What is spear phishing? Spear phishing is a more targeted form of phishing where attackers use personalized information to make fraudulent messages appear trustworthy to the victim. What is malware? Malware is malicious software designed to disrupt, damage, or gain unauthorized access to a system, network, or device. What is a worm? A worm is a self-replicating piece of malware that spreads across networks, usually without any user intervention, to infect multiple devices. What is spyware? Spyware is a type of malicious software that secretly monitors user activities and sends this information to a remote attacker. What is ransomware? Ransomware is malware that encrypts a user's files or locks them out of a system and demands payment to restore access. What is SQL injection? SQL injection is a code injection technique used to exploit vulnerabilities in a website's database layer by inserting malicious SQL code into query fields. What is cross-site scripting, XSS? XSS is a vulnerability that allows attackers to inject malicious scripts into web pages viewed by other users, potentially compromising their data. What is DNS spoofing? DNS spoofing, or DNS cache poisoning, involves injecting malicious data into a DNS resolver's cache, redirecting users to malicious websites. What is an access control list, ACL? An ACL is a list of rules that specifies which users or devices are allowed to access certain network resources. What is network segmentation? Network segmentation divides a larger network into smaller, isolated subnets, improving security and reducing the impact of potential attacks. What is a VPN? A virtual private network, VPN, is a service that creates a secure, encrypted connection over the internet to protect your data from eavesdropping. What is a honeypot? A honeypot is a decoy system designed to attract and monitor potential attackers, providing insights into attack methods. What is a zero-day vulnerability? A zero-day vulnerability is a software flaw that is unknown to the vendor and is exploited by attackers before a patch is released. What is encryption? Encryption is the process of converting data into an unreadable format, which can only be reversed by those possessing a decryption key. What is symmetric encryption? Symmetric encryption uses the same key for both encryption and decryption processes, requiring secure management of the key. What is asymmetric encryption? Asymmetric encryption uses a pair of keys, a public key for encryption and a private key for decryption, allowing secure communication over insecure channels. What is a digital certificate? A digital certificate is an electronic document that uses a digital signature to provide a cryptographic proof of the identity of an entity. What is two-factor authentication, 2FA? Two-factor authentication, 2FA, adds an extra layer of security by requiring a second form of verification, such as a one-time code sent to a user's phone. What is a security patch? A security patch is an update designed to fix vulnerabilities in software or hardware, often addressing potential exploits. What is network monitoring? Network monitoring is the process of observing and analyzing network traffic to detect performance issues, security threats, or policy violations. What is a security incident? A security incident is an event that compromises the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of a system or network, potentially leading to a breach. What is an incident response? Incident response refers to the process of detecting, analyzing, and mitigating security incidents to minimize damage and restore normal operations. What is a patch management strategy? A patch management strategy is a process for identifying, testing, and applying patches to software and systems to protect against vulnerabilities. What is risk management? Risk management involves identifying, assessing, and prioritizing risks to an organization's assets and implementing measures to mitigate those risks. What is endpoint security? Endpoint security involves securing individual devices like computers, smartphones, and tablets from cyber threats using antivirus software, firewalls, and encryption. What is a data breach? A data breach occurs when unauthorized individuals gain access to sensitive information, often leading to financial loss, reputational damage, or legal consequences. What is threat hunting? Threat hunting is a proactive approach to cybersecurity where security professionals actively search for signs of malicious activity within a network or system. What is an attack surface? The attack surface is the sum of all points in a system or network where an attacker could potentially gain unauthorized access. What is DDoS mitigation? DDoS mitigation is the process of defending a network or service from a distributed denial of service DDoS attack by identifying and filtering malicious traffic. What is a security information and event management (SIEM) system? A SIEM system collects and analyzes security data from various sources in real time to provide alerts and insights into potential threats. What is the CIA triad? The CIA triad represents the core principles of cybersecurity: confidentiality, integrity, and availability, all aimed at securing information and systems. What is a cybersecurity policy? A cybersecurity policy is a set of guidelines and rules designed to protect an organization's data, networks, and information from cyber threats. What is a threat vector? A threat vector is the path or method by which an attacker can gain access to a system, such as through email, a vulnerability, or physical access. What is a cyber kill chain? The cyber kill chain is a model for understanding the stages of a cyber attack, including reconnaissance, weaponization, exploitation, and post-exploitation. What is data exfiltration? Data exfiltration is the unauthorized transfer or extraction of data from an organization's network to a remote location, often by malicious actors. What is identity and access management, IAM? IAM involves managing user identities and controlling access to network resources to ensure that only authorized individuals can access sensitive information. What is role-based access control, RBAC? RBAC is an access control mechanism that assigns permissions to users based on their roles within an organization, restricting access to only necessary resources. What is a password policy? A password policy is a set of rules designed to enhance security by requiring users to create strong, complex passwords and change them periodically. What is a vulnerability scanner? A vulnerability scanner is a tool that automatically scans systems and networks for known vulnerabilities, providing reports to help address potential security risks. What is social engineering? Social engineering is a manipulation technique where an attacker exploits human behavior to gain unauthorized access to systems, networks, or sensitive information. What is DenSec? DenSec, Domain Name System Security Extensions, is a suite of extensions designed to secure the domain name system, DNS, and prevent attacks such as DNS spoofing. What is an insider threat? An insider threat refers to a security risk posed by individuals within an organization, such as employees or contractors, who misuse their access to compromise security. What is a security audit? A security audit is a systematic review of an organization's security policies, controls, and practices to ensure compliance with standards and identify weaknesses. What is a security audit? A security audit is a systematic review of an organization's security policies, controls, and practices to ensure compliance with standards and identify weaknesses. What is an advanced persistent threat, APT? An APT is a prolonged and targeted cyber attack in which an attacker gains unauthorized access to a network and remains undetected for an extended period. What is the role of an incident response team? An incident response team is responsible for managing and responding to security incidents, containing the threat, and restoring normal operations. What is a rootkit? A rootkit is a type of malicious software that allows unauthorized users to gain control of a system while hiding its presence from detection methods. What is the purpose of antivirus software? Antivirus software is used to detect, prevent, and remove malicious software, malware, from a computer or network. What is an intrusion prevention system, IPS? An IPS is a network security system that actively analyzes and monitors traffic to detect and prevent malicious activities in real time. What is a vulnerability management program? A vulnerability management program involves identifying, assessing, prioritizing, and remediating vulnerabilities within an organization's infrastructure. What is an asset inventory? An asset inventory is a list of all the hardware and software components within an organization that need to be managed and secured. What is a data classification policy? A data classification policy is a system for organizing and labeling data based on its sensitivity and the impact to the organization if compromised. What is the purpose of an email filtering system? An email filtering system scans incoming and outgoing email messages to block spam, malware, and phishing attempts. What is multi-factor authentication? MFA? Multi-factor authentication requires users to provide two or more forms of verification before gaining access to a system or service, improving security. What is a security breach? A security breach is any incident where unauthorized access to data or systems occurs, resulting in a potential compromise of sensitive information. What is the principle of least privilege? The principle of least privilege states that users and systems should be granted the minimum level of access necessary to perform their tasks. What is a security control? A security control is a safeguard or countermeasure put in place to reduce risks to an organization's information and systems. What is network forensics? Network forensics is the process of capturing, recording, and analyzing network traffic to investigate security incidents and understand how an attack occurred. What is data integrity? Data integrity refers to the accuracy and consistency of data throughout its life cycle, ensuring that it is not tampered with or corrupted. What is a buffer overflow? A buffer overflow occurs when a program writes more data to a block of memory, causing it to overwrite adjacent memory and potentially lead to arbitrary code execution. What is a reverse proxy? A reverse proxy is a server that sits between clients and a web server, forwarding client requests to the web server, often for load balancing or security purposes. What is vulnerability assessment? Vulnerability assessment is the process of identifying, quantifying, and prioritizing security weaknesses in a system or network. What is a man-in-the-middle MITM attack? A MITM attack occurs when an attacker intercepts and alters communication between two parties, often to steal sensitive data. What is a digital signature? A digital signature is a cryptographic method used to verify the authenticity and integrity of digital messages or documents. What is a penetration test? A penetration test, or ethical hacking, involves simulating a cyber attack to identify security vulnerabilities in systems, networks, or applications. What is a security patch management process? Patch management involves identifying, testing, and deploying updates to software and systems to fix vulnerabilities and improve security. What is system hardening? System hardening is the process of securing a system by reducing its surface of vulnerability through measures like disabling unnecessary services and applying security patches. What is a security incident response plan? A security incident response plan outlines the procedures and actions an organization should take when responding to a security breach or attack. What is a honeynet? A honeynet is a network of decoy systems used to simulate real targets and attract attackers to gather intelligence about attack methods. What is DNS amplification? DNS amplification is a type of DDoS attack in which an attacker exploits publicly available DNS servers to amplify the volume of traffic sent to a target. What is a data loss prevention (DLP) system? A DLP system monitors and controls the movement of sensitive data across a network to prevent unauthorized access or exfiltration. What is a denial of service (DOS) attack? A DOS attack aims to make a system or network resource unavailable to its intended users by overwhelming it with excessive traffic. What is the difference between TCP and UDP? TCP is a connection-oriented protocol that guarantees reliable delivery, while UDP is a connectionless protocol that does not guarantee delivery or error correction. What is a data breach notification? A data breach notification is a formal communication to affected individuals, organizations, or authorities about a security breach that exposed sensitive data. What is a file integrity checker? A file integrity checker is a tool used to monitor changes to files or directories, often used to detect malicious modifications. What is an asymmetric encryption algorithm? An asymmetric encryption algorithm uses two different keys for encryption and decryption, typically a public key for encryption and a private key for decryption. What is a proxy server? A proxy server acts as an intermediary between a user's device and the internet, often used for caching, filtering, and security purposes. What is a Security Operations Center (SOC)? A SOC is a centralized unit responsible for monitoring, detecting, and responding to security incidents within an organization's IT environment. What is threat intelligence? Threat intelligence is the collection, analysis, and sharing of information regarding potential threats and vulnerabilities to better defend against cyber attacks. What is an attack vector? An attack vector is the path or method used by a hacker to gain unauthorized access to a system or network. What is an API security risk? API security risks include vulnerabilities in the application programming interfaces, APIs, that attackers can exploit to gain unauthorized access to data or services. What is a web application firewall? WEF. A WEF is a security system that filters and monitors HTTP traffic to and from a web application, preventing attacks like SQL injection and XSS. What is a root cause analysis? Root cause analysis is a method of investigating and identifying the underlying causes of a security incident or failure in a system. What is a vulnerability exploit? A vulnerability exploit is a piece of code or technique that takes advantage of a flaw in software or hardware to compromise a system or network. What is a public key infrastructure? PKI? PKI is a framework for managing digital keys and certificates, enabling secure communication and authentication between users and systems. What is a denial of service DOS attack? A DOS attack is an attempt to disrupt or deny service to legitimate users by overwhelming a system or network with excessive traffic or requests. What is an access control list? ACL? An ACL is a list of rules used to define the access rights and permissions for users or devices attempting to access network resources. What is a rogue device? A rogue device is an unauthorized device connected to a network that may pose a security risk by bypassing security controls and accessing sensitive resources. What is cryptographic hashing? Cryptographic hashing is a process that transforms input data into a fixed size string of characters, which is typically used for data integrity and password storage. What is a ransomware attack? A ransomware attack involves malware that encrypts a victim's files or locks them out of a system, with the attacker demanding payment to restore access. What is an attack surface? The attack surface refers to the sum of all possible entry points for attackers to exploit within a system, application, or network. What is a keylogger? A keylogger is a type of malware that records keystrokes on a device to steal sensitive information like passwords and personal data. What is a VLAN? A virtual local area network, VLAN, is a logical partition of a network, allowing devices on different physical networks to communicate as if they were on the same network. What is a security token? A security token is a physical or virtual device used to authenticate a user or system, typically generating a one-time passcode or secure login credentials. What is public key encryption? Public key encryption is a method where a pair of cryptographic keys, one public and one private, are used to secure communication between parties. What is a zero-day vulnerability? A zero-day vulnerability is a previously unknown security flaw in software that can be exploited by attackers before a patch is released to fix it. What is a remote access Trojan, RAT? A remote access Trojan, RAT, is a type of malware that allows an attacker to remotely control and monitor an infected system, often without the user's knowledge. What is a session hijacking attack? Session hijacking is an attack where an attacker steals or intercepts a session token to gain unauthorized access to a user's active session on a website or service. What is a password cracking tool? Password cracking tools are software programs that attempt to guess or decrypt passwords, typically used in penetration testing or malicious activities. What is SSL/TLS encryption? SSL, Secure Sockets Layer, and TLS, Transport Layer Security, are cryptographic protocols that provide secure communication over a network by encrypting data in transit. What is network segmentation? Network segmentation involves dividing a network into smaller segments to improve performance, enhance security, and limit the impact of potential breaches. What is a distributed denial of service DDoS attack? A DDoS attack is an attack that attempts to overwhelm a target system, server, or network by flooding it with excessive traffic from multiple sources. What is an IPsec VPN? IPsec, Internet Protocol Security, is a suite of protocols used to secure communications over an IP network by encrypting data and ensuring its integrity. What is a root cause analysis in cybersecurity? Root cause analysis in cybersecurity involves identifying the underlying causes of security incidents and determining how to prevent them in the future. What is a sandbox in cybersecurity? A sandbox is an isolated environment where software or malware can be safely run and analyzed without affecting the underlying system or network. What is an IP address? An IP address is a unique identifier assigned to each device connected to a network, used to facilitate communication between devices on the internet or local network. What is DNS poisoning? DNS poisoning is a cyber attack where malicious data is inserted into a DNS resolver's cache, redirecting users to fraudulent websites or disrupting network communications. What is an endpoint? An endpoint is any device or system that connects to a network, such as computers, mobile devices, or servers, and can be a potential entry point for attackers. What is a VPN? A VPN, virtual private network, allows secure communication between remote users and private networks over the internet by encrypting the data transmitted between them. What is a brute force attack? A brute force attack is a trial and error method used by attackers to guess passwords or encryption keys by systematically checking all possible combinations. What is the CIA triad? The CIA triad refers to the three core principles of cybersecurity: confidentiality, integrity, and availability, which guide the development of security policies. What is a man-in-the-browser attack? A man-in-the-browser attack is a type of cyber attack where malware infects a web browser to intercept or alter communication between the user and websites. What is a cipher? A cipher is an algorithm used to perform encryption or decryption of data, transforming it from plain text to ciphertext or vice versa. What is a Security Operations Center, SOC? A Security Operations Center, SOC, is a centralized facility where security professionals monitor, detect, and respond to cybersecurity incidents within an organization. What is an APT? An Advanced Persistent Threat, APT, is a prolonged and targeted attack in which an attacker infiltrates a network and remains undetected to steal data or cause harm. What is a key exchange? A key exchange is the process of securely exchanging cryptographic keys between two parties, often through protocols like Diffie-Hellman, to facilitate secure communication. What is social engineering? Social engineering is a manipulation technique used by attackers to trick individuals into divulging confidential information or performing actions that compromise security. What is a firewall? A firewall is a network security device that monitors and controls incoming and outgoing traffic based on predetermined security rules, helping protect networks from unauthorized access. What is security policy? A security policy is a set of rules and guidelines that an organization uses to protect its assets, data, and networks from various cybersecurity threats. What is patch management? Patch management is the process of applying updates to software, operating systems, and applications to fix vulnerabilities and improve security. What is a honeypot? A honeypot is a decoy system or service intentionally left vulnerable to attract cyber attackers, allowing organizations to monitor and analyze their activities. What is packet sniffing? Packet sniffing is the process of intercepting and logging network traffic to analyze data that is being transmitted between devices over a network. What is a risk assessment? A risk assessment is the process of identifying, evaluating, and prioritizing risks to an organization's assets, data, and operations to implement effective security controls. What is a distributed denial of service, DDoS mitigation? DDoS mitigation involves strategies and tools used to detect, prevent, and respond to DDoS attacks, ensuring the target system or network remains operational. What is a buffer overflow vulnerability? A buffer overflow occurs when data exceeds a buffer's allocated size, potentially causing memory corruption and allowing attackers to inject malicious code. What is a threat actor? A threat actor is an individual, group, or entity responsible for carrying out cyber attacks or other malicious activities that target systems, data, or networks. What is cryptography? Cryptography is the practice of securing communication and information through the use of mathematical algorithms to encrypt or decrypt data, ensuring confidentiality and integrity. What is endpoint security? Endpoint security refers to securing the individual devices that connect to a network, such as computers, smartphones, or servers, to prevent malware and unauthorized access. What is phishing? Phishing is a form of social engineering where attackers deceive individuals into providing sensitive information, such as login credentials, by posing as a trusted entity. What is SIEM? SIEM, Security Information and Event Management, is a system used to collect, monitor, and analyze security-related data to detect potential threats and respond to incidents. What is an XSS attack? An XSS, cross-site scripting, attack occurs when an attacker injects malicious scripts into a web application, which then executes on the user's browser, potentially stealing data. What is an intrusion detection system, IDS? An IDS is a network security tool that monitors traffic for suspicious activity and alerts administrators of potential security breaches. What is a security incident? A security incident is any event or action that threatens the confidentiality, integrity, or availability of an organization's information or systems. What is access control? Access control refers to the policies and technologies used to regulate who can access specific resources, systems, or data within an organization. What is an SSL certificate? An SSL certificate is a digital certificate used to secure communication between a web server and a browser, ensuring that data transferred between them is encrypted. What is a Trojan horse? A Trojan horse is a type of malware that disguises itself as a legitimate program or file to deceive users into installing it, often leading to system compromise. What is privilege escalation? Privilege escalation occurs when an attacker gains higher levels of access or control over a system than they were initially authorized to have. What is a security vulnerability? A security vulnerability is a weakness in a system, application, or network that can be exploited by an attacker to compromise the system or gain unauthorized access. What is application security? Application security involves measures and practices designed to ensure that software applications are secure from threats, vulnerabilities, and attacks. What is a botnet? A botnet is a network of infected computers or devices that are controlled remotely by an attacker, typically used for malicious purposes like DDoS attacks. What is a cross-site request forgery, CSRF? CSRF is an attack that tricks a user into unknowingly submitting malicious requests on a website, potentially compromising their data or account. What is a VPN tunneling protocol? A VPN tunneling protocol is a protocol used to create a secure and encrypted communication channel between devices and networks over the Internet, such as PPTP, L2TP, or IPsec. What is a data breach? A data breach is the unauthorized access, retrieval, or exposure of confidential or sensitive information, typically due to vulnerabilities, attacks, or human error. What is a threat model? A threat model is a structured approach to identifying and assessing potential security threats and vulnerabilities within a system or network. What is application whitelisting? Application whitelisting is a security practice that only allows pre-approved and trusted applications to run on a system, blocking unauthorized or malicious applications. What is a security audit? A security audit is a systematic review of an organization's security policies, procedures, and systems to identify vulnerabilities and ensure compliance with security standards. What is a keylogger? A keylogger is a type of malware that secretly records keystrokes made by a user capturing sensitive information like passwords, credit card numbers, and messages. What is role-based access control, RBAC? RBAC is a system of managing access to resources based on the roles of individual users, where each role is associated with specific permissions. What is a security breach response plan? A security breach response plan is a documented procedure that outlines how an organization should respond to a security breach or incident to minimize damage and recovery time. What is a digital signature? A digital signature is a cryptographic technique used to validate the authenticity and integrity of a digital message or document, ensuring that it has not been tampered with. What is malware analysis? Malware analysis is the process of studying and dissecting malicious software to understand its behavior, identify how it operates, and develop countermeasures. What is multi-factor authentication, MFA? Multi-factor authentication, MFA, is a security process that requires multiple forms of verification, e.g., password and fingerprint, before granting access to a system. What is the principle of least privilege? The principle of least privilege is a security concept where users are given the minimum level of access necessary to perform their job functions, reducing the risk of misuse or compromise. What is SQL injection? SQL injection is a type of cyber attack where malicious SQL code is inserted into a query, allowing attackers to manipulate or access the database directly. What is the difference between TCP and UDP? TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, is a connection-oriented protocol that ensures reliable data delivery, while UDP, User Datagram Protocol, is a connectionless protocol that sacrifices reliability for speed. What is vulnerability management? Vulnerability management is the process of identifying, assessing, and addressing security vulnerabilities within systems, applications, and networks to reduce the risk of exploitation. What is network monitoring? Network monitoring involves continuously analyzing network traffic and devices to detect anomalies, potential security issues, and performance problems. What is an IDS versus an IPS? An IDS, intrusion detection system, monitors network traffic for suspicious activity, while an IPS, intrusion prevention system, actively blocks malicious traffic based on predefined rules. What is a brute force password attack? A brute force password attack involves an attacker systematically trying every possible combination of characters to guess a password. What is privilege management? Privilege management involves controlling the access rights and permissions granted to users and systems, ensuring that only authorized users have elevated privileges.